ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome everybody to Saturday Satsang. So we are coming close to two of our biggest festivals in ISKCON. So next weekend is next Sunday is Sri Balaram Purnima, and then end of the month is Sri Krishna Janmashtami. So what verses we are reading is actually related to their appearance. So we are reading verse 8. Today we'll do verse 8 and 9 if possible. And next week we will have Balaram Katha. Next Saturday we'll do Balaram Katha in English. So it's happiest time of the year. Of course, for devotees, every day is a happy time. Every day is a festival. Because in Goloka Vrindavana, that is how it is. Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Api Vamshi Priyasaki. Katha Ganam. Katha Ganam. Katha means if you speak, it is like Gana, song. If you walk, it's like dancing. That is Vrindavana. That is Goloka Vrindavana. So this is our eternal life. Who doesn't want this? Who doesn't want? Prabhupada is to say multiple times. Who doesn't want singing, dancing in front of the Lord, and eating, honoring prasadam? Who doesn't want to do bhakti in this way? Everybody wants to do bhakti in this way. But the real question is, are we attracted to Krishna, to bhakti so much that we are ready to give up this material world? How many of us are here are ready to give up, ready to leave this material world and go to Krishna? Okay, Patil Prabhu is ready. Purnima Mataji is ready. You can use your hands up. What is that? What is that feature? Yeah, you can, or you can unmute and just speak. Okay, Shashikala Mataji. What about others not ready? Venkatesh Prabhu. Venkatesh Prabhu is also ready. I
am also ready, Prabhuji.
Jai. Okay, Seturaman Prabhu. ABC has to, I don't know who that is. Anup Madhusmita Mataji, Padma Mataji, Sanat Prabhu, Krishna Prabhu. Not ready.
Ready,
Not ready.
Ready, Prabhuji.
Ready, yeah? Clear, Mataji? Sure. Lock kar diya jaye.
Yes.
Huh?
Ready.
You have to be ready means you should be ready. No feeling of any possession, anything in this material world. So if by Lord's mercy, anyway, so I'll tell one story in this connection. Okay. Others are still not ready. I know Madhusmita Mataji is ready.
Hare Krishna.
Simply she's not saying. Hare Krishna, Seturavan Prabhu.
I am ready.
Ready. Then you have to leave all your Shraddha Kriya, all that you have to leave. Everything full surrender to Krishna.
Okay.
Full surrender. Full surrender means fully depending on Krishna.
But
Nothing
it
else.
should happen instantly, Prabhuji.
Okay.
It should happen by your I cannot, nobody else can push you to do that. It is internal call. It is internal desire. Right? Many times devotees say that, I have not got inspiration from Krishna. I say, like, Krishna will not give us inspiration. Krishna will give us inspiration only when we desire. If we desire, saying that Krishna, okay, I want to come and serve you in Goloka like this, then Krishna will say, okay, tatastu. That too he will see how much desire we have. So first thing is we have to realize that there is nothing in this material world. Really, is there anything? Is there anything worthwhile in this material world? Kala. There's nothing. Anyway, so before we start this, so there was one previously. So there was one merchant. Okay. So this merchant very rich. He had so much of money and property and business and this and that and all that. So somehow his fortune that Narada Muni became interested in him, in delivering him. So Narada Muni wanted to send him to Vaikuntha. So Narada Muni comes to his house and he says, okay, now you have enough money, you've seen, happiness and this and that, all that. Now, chalo, let's go to Vaikuntha today, now. Suddenly he was like taken aback. Hare, what is this? Like this, he had also attended some class and, somebody had asked him, saying that, are you ready? And he had said yes. And that is masala that I have added. So, but then, when Narada Muni came and asked him like this, he was suddenly not prepared. He said, no, Narada Muni, what is this? What are you doing? No, I absolutely want to come to Vaikuntha, but you know what, like, I'm still not married at all. So let me do one thing, let me just get married. Few years and then I'm ready. I'm ready to come. Okay, so Narada Muni goes, then this merchant gets married and then he has a child also. Narada Muni still again comes. Again, same question. And this merchant is saying, Arey, what to do, Narada Muni ji? See, now I have a responsibility to take care. I have a child. I have to take care. Now he has to grow up. I have to marry him. Then I will definitely come. So again happens, then again marriage is also over. Kids' marriage is also over. Again Narada Muni comes, says same thing. No, this, then of course, then he would have had other children, etc. They're like, my sons, they're all so irresponsible. They're not taking care of my business properly. I can't leave it right now. I have to train them. No, otherwise they'll spoil everything. Okay. So again, few years happen. He's trained, he's become old, and then he dies. Okay. So he did not take the option given by Narada Muni. Narada Muni knows, obviously, by his Trikalagna, he knows past, present, future. So he knows what happened to this. So what would have happened is this merchant was so attached to his wealth, so attached to his wealth, that he was very worried about his wealth. So he took birth again near his house. Near his house only. He took birth in the house of a cobbler who was, sitting near his house and mending chappals, shoes, etc. So every day he was seeing, oh, this house. Somehow he had some, attachment. And then he remembers also that, I was actually the master of this house. And one day he goes in front of his house, like his son is going out in a car. He goes and stops the car. He's in ragged clothes and, so he stops the car and he says, he calls out his son's name and says, see, you don't recognize me. I'm your father. Then this son, he sees like, what is this? Somebody in rat clothes. Maybe he's like a, crazy guy. And then he just sends him away. So then this attachment still continues. Then he dies again. Cobbler's son, he dies again. Then he becomes a dog. What do we put in front of our house? Beware. Dogs, what do they do? Bark. So he's standing near his house. Anybody goes in whom he doesn't know, he barks. So he's doing his duty of protecting his wealth. So like this life also is gone. Next, finally, he gets a body of a serpent. And he is there in the backyard somewhere. He has a big treasure. He wants to protect that treasure. So snakes, normally they say that in snakes protect where there's money and all that treasure. So he's like hovering there and now Narada Muni comes to know, oh my God, look at this guy. He was a merchant, rich. Somebody gets this kind of position because of their previous very good karma phala. Janmaishwarya Sutashri. These are punya. This is actually results of punya. Janma, good birth. Aishwarya, money. Suta is knowledge, and Shri is beauty. So he had all of it. Then from there, what did he do? He got the lower birth. He was born in a poor family. That means bad karma, little bit bad karma. So because in accumulating wealth, he would have done a lot of bad things. So because of that karma phala, he became born in the house of a cobbler. Now, because of this consciousness of, money, this my money, I have to protect. And he got one more lower birth of a dog. And finally, the worst, actually, snake and scorpion, these are considered, actually, even saints are happy when they're killed because they are envious. They're envious creatures. They bite even without anything wrong done by the other person. So Narada Muni is like really, he feels very sad for this soul. So he decides, okay, today I have to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he will go down to hell. So what he does, he loudly calls out, snake. So all the people from inside the house, they come out. They whatever they got, some sticks, lati, this, that, and all that, everything they came. And they start beating that snake, and that snake is dead. Then Narada Muni talks to that Atma after he dies, saying that, see, who killed you? Your own family members. Because that house, they're still, his grandfather, his grandsons, etc., is all his family people. They see what you have done all so long, you wanted to remain on this material world, etc. What happened finally? They only killed you. This is material world. There's nothing left in this material world. At least now you come. So he still gives mercy. This is pure devotees. They're always ready to extend mercy. And then finally that snake, that Atma who had that snake body goes back to Vaikuntha. Like this, if we are attached to things of this material world, then we'll be stuck here. We'll keep coming back again and again. You would have heard, no? Sometimes the grandfather came as grandson in the same family. It's possible. It is said in Shastra. It is said that if someone is too attached to their family, then they might come back in that same family, of course, or that they should have done karma such that they should at least be able to get a human birth. Then they might take birth in the same family. Attachment, material attachment. It's so strong that we might be thinking that I am ready, but maybe we are not. But we have to keep thinking, why we have to think about this? Because that is the best destination. That is the best thing for us to do, is to be with Krishna and serve him in Goloka. It is the best thing. Why? because that is the beauty of relationship with Krishna. Relationship with Krishna is best in Madhurya Rasa, topmost rasa. There are multiple rasas in which we can serve Krishna. Rasa means basically mood, emotions, feelings. It's like a type of relationship, right? So like we can either serve him in Shanta, neutral. Neutral means that, oh, Supreme Lord is so powerful. But it's okay. Let him be where he is. I am here where I am. I won't bother you. You won't bother me. This is Shanta. They're just not actively involved in any service. Then second is Dasya. Dasya, devotees know, okay, I am servant of Krishna. I am servant of Lord. Either it could be Goloka or Vaikuntha. If it is Vaikuntha, then it is Vishnu. If it is Goloka, then it's Krishna. No, I have to serve Krishna. I have to serve Vishnu. Dasya. So a mood of a servant. Then all the other next three rasas are also based on servitude only. Basic mood is servant, but in servant also now there are some specialities. So Sakhya, friend and servant. When we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand this. Like all Krishna's friends, if they're running, they played, and Krishna is tired, then they breeze him, they press his legs, they give him water, they do this. It's all in service. See, actually, if you see, this whole material world is also running on service only. Just think about what each of us do from morning till evening. We are serving somebody or the other. Serving, either we can be serving all relations concerned with this body, our office, or we could be serving Krishna. But we are serving all the time. We don't think about it that way, but we are serving. And so here we serve Krishna as a friend in Goloka Vrindavana. Then there is Vatsalya, which is his parents, or those devotees who are in that position of elders. So they serve him in the mood of being a father and mother. Service, right? Like parents serve their children. So this is also service, but in the mood of being parents of the Lord. Then finally, it's Madhurya. Madhurya Leela, Madhurya Rasa is considered as the sweetest. It has all the aspects of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya. It is more complete than all other rasas. So because it is so, that relationship is so nice, is so sweet, it is called Madhurya. So why not this material world? Because in this material world, there is no such pure rasa. It is all lust. Kama esha krodha esha. Rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidyenam iha vairinam. It is all only lust. There is no love. Love means there is no expectation in return. Of course, there might be some relationships which are based on love, but mostly material world is all about lust. Give and take. But life in spiritual world is not like this. Satchit Ananda. Eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. Full of bliss. So the motivation for us to do bhakti is that we will please Krishna. That should be our only motivation. Of course, when we please Krishna, we become happy. Yena atma suprasidati. Bhagavatam says. Yena atma suprasidati. This atma will become happy. We are all seeking happiness. I've discussed this multiple times. Different ways we are seeking happiness. We're seeking happiness by using the type of toothpaste we want to use, by using the type of toothbrush we want to use, by using the type of soap we want to use, by wearing the kind of clothes that we want to wear, by combing our hair the way we want. I don't have that problem. So various ways we are just seeking happiness, but this happiness is so temporary, low quality, temporary happiness. But we really want happiness. We don't want this, piddly, like small, insignificant, which just, is there for a moment and then it's gone. We don't want this. We are all seeking eternal happiness. That eternal happiness is there in the spiritual world. So then why do we want to be here? What is it that we want to be achieved by being here in this material world? Anybody has any answers for why we should be in this material world? It's not a challenge. It's just an open question to hear views of others, right? Because at least so far, I have not found anything worthwhile in this material world. And the more and more I hear about spiritual world, it just attracts me more and more. Saying that why am I here? Why am I not there? Of course, we are all there. And that is the reason why Krishna has to come down to this material world, because we were there. And then we said that, no, I want to go. I want to go somewhere where I don't have to deal with you, Krishna. Just give me a break. Send me to some place where I don't have to worship you. I can be by myself. This is our fallen state. Having said this, we came down from the spiritual world and we are stuck here trying to make ourselves happy, independent of Krishna, forgetting Krishna. But that's not possible. That's by definition not possible. Because we can't enjoy independent of Krishna. We can't be happy independent of Krishna. Only when Krishna is there, there is happiness. Because Krishna is like that. It is said in Bhagavatam description of the Lord's form. It is said that the Lord's beautiful smile is the compensation for all austerities that the devotees take. Just his smile. Can you imagine how electrifying it must be? Krishna's smile. That's it. Things like this, right? Like sometimes when we do service, we feel, oh, if at all this person can be happy with my service and just smile at me. He doesn't have to say anything else, just has to smile at me, saying, oh, it's like that. Just for Krishna's smile, that like, can he be pleased with what I'm doing? Can he just, glance at me? I don't know. I mean, this has to be our motivation, right? Like, can I serve him such that he can be happy with me? And actually, it is said that Krishna, when he comes back in Goloka, when he comes back from his grazing, he has a beautiful schedule for all his Leela activities. Then he comes back in the afternoon, late afternoon, with all his like lakhs of cows. And everybody would have come out of their houses, just waiting to see Krishna, hankering to see Krishna. Oh, he's gone since morning, 8:30, roughly 8:39. He leaves, or slightly after that. He leaves to the forest, and then he comes back only around like 3-4 o'clock. So they're all waiting for those 6-7 hours. Yeah, actually, about 7-8 hours. He's not there. So they're waiting for him to come back. And then Krishna is so nice that he reciprocates with everybody, each and every person who's come and waiting on the road to, like greet him. And everybody's so happy. Just Krishna looks at each of them individually. No one is ignored. and everybody feels so joyful. Oh, my Krishna is back. Really, the happiness that is there in Goloka is unimaginable. As in, that is why we have to we are asked to read, hear about Krishna, because Krishna is so glorious. Krishna is so sweet. Oh, actually, I think today I'm going to slightly do a. I don't know if we did this. Have we done this? Have we? Did we sing Madhurashtakam anytime in our class?
No, Prabhu.
No.
We not sung Madhurashtakam, no? Okay, this is one of my favorites. Let's sing Madhurashtakam. Because Krishna, Balaram, they're all Madhuram. Yes, so this is so beautiful. Okay, so can you on your computers, or I don't know, if you can go search for Madhura Ashtakam. Actually, let me put this. I'm putting this in the chat box. I don't know how many of you can access this. Can you see here on the chat box? I have put a link. Oh, actually, why am I doing this? I can just share. Okay, 1 second. Let me just share. Yeah. Okay, so this Madhurashtakam was actually given by Vallabhacharya. He is, we have 4 sampradayas. He is the founder of Nimbarka Sampradaya, and they're called Pushti Marg. They're called Pushti Marg, and mostly in North India. So they also, it's an authorized parampara. So he's given this beautiful song. Okay, I need something without these meanings in the middle. One second. This is better. Okay, because it's long. Okay, maybe what I'll request, I'll make one of you co-hosts. When I come here, you can just, can you scroll? No, you can't scroll. You can share if somebody can share on your screen. Otherwise, I'll have to do both anyway. Okay. So, I will sing this, and then you can also repeat. We can't, unfortunately, have everybody sing here, but you please sing and see if you can go into this mood of Madhuram. This is Krishna. Krishna attracts. Krishna is all attractive. Krishna, meaning of word Krishna is he's all attractive. So we can soak ourselves in the sweetness of the Lord here. Adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram asitam madhuram hridayam madhuram gamana madhuram madhuradipater akilam madhuram madhuradipater akilam madhuram madhuradipater akilam madhuram vachanam madhuram charitam madhuram vasanam madhuram valitam madhuram chalitam madhuram भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुर पादो मधुर नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं maduradipaterakhilam maduram maduradipaterakhilam maduram maduradipaterakhilam maduram geetam maduram Pitam maduram, bhuktam maduram, suktam maduram, rupam maduram, tilaka maduram, madhuradipaterakilam maduram, madhuradipaterakilam maduram, madhuradipaterakilam maduram, karanam maduram. Taranam madhuram, haranam madhuram, ramanam madhuram, vamitam madhuram, shamita madhura madhuradipaterakilam madhuram, madhuradipaterakilam madhura madhuradipaterakilam madhuram. Gunja madhura mala madhura yamuna madhura vichi madhura salilam madhuram kamala madhura madhuradipaterakilam madhuram madhuradipaterakilam madhura madhuradipaterakilam madhuram Gopi Madhura, Leela Madhura, Yuktam Madhuram, Bhoktam Madhuram, Krishtam Madhuram, Shishta Madhuram, Madhuradipaterakilam Madhuram, Madhuradipaterakilam Madhura, Madhuradipaterakilam Madhuram. Gopa Madhura, Gavo Madhura, Yashtir Madhura, Shishtir Madhura, Dalita Madhuram, Palita Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Akilam Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Raki, La Madhura, Madhuradipate, Rakilam. Maduram, Madhuradipaterakilam, Maduram, Madhuradipaterakilam, Maduram, Madhuradipaterakilam, Maduram, Madhuradipaterakilam, Maduram. So this is so beautiful. Let's understand the meaning. It's even more beautiful. The Adharam Madhuram. Adharam is lips. Your adharam is madhuram. Your vadanam is face is madhuram. Your nayanam, your eyes are sweet. Hasitam, your smile is sweet. Hridayam madhuram, your heart is sweet. Gamanam madhuram, your gait or walking style is sweet. Madhuradipate Akilam madhuram. Everything is sweet about the original Lord of sweetness. Madhuradipate is a Lord of all sweetness. Vachanam madhuram, vachanam is speech or voice. Charitam, his character. Vasanam, his attire. Actually, Krishna's attire is also glorified. Valitam, his speech. Okay, Vachanam is voice. This is sweet. His Valitam is speech. Chalitam, his movements. Brahmitam, his wandering. So Krishna wanders with his, cowherd friends and cows in the forests of Vrindavan. And of course, then he also wanders with his gopi friends in the forests of Vrindavan. So that wandering is also sweet. Venur Madhurao, this is glorified. Actually, Krishna's flute. It is the source of all music in this material world. And when Krishna plays his flute, so Krishna's flute is so inconceivable. Actually, Brahma, who is actually all knowledgeable, right? Like he has all knowledge. His Vedas personified himself. So he is also bewildered when Krishna plays his flute, because the music composition that comes out is not there in the books of Vedas. Of course, Vedas also has this, Shastra for singing, but they also get bewildered. It's so different and unique that only Krishna can play. And when Krishna plays his flute, it's almost like him calling. So when he has to call all his cows back on it's time for them to return home, he plays his flute, and through his flute, he's calling out different names of different. So there are groups of cows, etc. All this we will go into later. So each group he calls out, and that all the group of that cow, they come walking towards Krishna just by hearing his flute, because they know Krishna is calling us. And of course, when gopis hear his flute, then they are lost. They just forget themselves, and they can't control, and they have to rush towards Krishna to meet him. Venur Maduro, Renur Madura. Renu is the foot dust. Then Pani, hands are sweet. Padu, legs are sweet. Nrityam, his dancing is sweet. Sakhyam, his friendship is sweet. So once Nrityam, once there are some peacocks, who want to dance in front of the Lord, and then the Lord also then dances, and peacocks only glorify the dancing of Krishna. And peacocks dance so beautifully. Like Krishna is more beautiful, his dance is more beautiful than the dance of peacocks. Geetam Maduram is singing is sweet. Pitam, drinking is sweet. You can imagine, like, just his drinking is sweet. His eating is sweet. Actually, this eating is a very nice pastime in Goloka. Every day, Srimati Radharani comes to cook for Krishna, and so many items are cooked. So many items. It's just like unimaginable number of items. Every day, it is cooked, and Krishna also eats like that. He eats in such a way that Yashoda becomes very worried. Oh, my Lala is not eating at all. He doesn't eat. He eats so less. But he also eats nicely. But still, Mother Yashoda is never satisfied. And then one after the other, there is, beautiful description of how, all the items one after the other, they are served in some sequence. And, like Krishna, Balaram, then his friends Madhu Mangal, Sridham, all of them, they sit together in the morning breakfast before leaving home. And his eating is described as very sweet. His sleeping is sweet. His sleeping is sweet. He sleeps for 2 hours and then he runs away without anybody knowing that he's gone. His beauty is sweet. Rupam, yes, his form is sweetest. Tilakam Maduram, even his tilak, there's a tilak which is also Maduram. Karanam, his deeds, whatever he does is sweet. Nothing that Krishna does actually hurts anybody or brings misfortune to anybody. And everybody is pleased by Krishna. That is his beauty. Taranam Maduram. Taranam means he is deliverance. When he delivers people from this material world, that is also sweet. Haranam Maduram, his stealing is sweet. Hari, the name Hari means he takes away all inauspiciousness in the life of a devotee. So he steals. Of course, then for pure devotees, it is said that when Krishna shows too much of mercy, these were very, very exalted devotees. We don't have to worry about this. Devotees become afraid. He takes away whatever material possessions they have, because he wants them to become completely, only solely attached to Krishna. He can give everything, but he doesn't. He just takes away. Like I said, it is for very exalted devotees. Haranam Maduram, Ramanam Maduram. Ramanam is pastimes with gopis, also very sweet. Vamitam Maduram, yawning is sweet. Shamitam Maduram, scolding, chastisement, that is also sweet. Gunja Madura, so he wears a garland of gunja flowers, which is also very sweet. Then Mala, so he wears along with gunja flower, then he wears so many other malas. Actually, it is described that some malas come till his waist, some mala come till his ankles, not ankles, knees, like that. Mala Madura, Yamuna Madura. Yamuna is so Madura. Like this time when, last time when we went to Vrindavan, we had this, great fortune to actually bathe in the Yamuna, where absolutely there was nobody, just 6 of us devotees. We were there. It's so beautiful, actually. Yamuna is like dark, blackish, like Krishna. So when we see the waters of Yamuna, we remember Krishna. Vichi Madura. Her waves are sweet. Salilam Maduram. Her water is sweet. Kamalam Maduram. Her lotuses are sweet. So there's something called as Yamunashtakam. We should chant that some other time. So this Yamunashtakam, it is said that even just the breeze, if a breeze carries some drops of water from Yamuna, and if that touches somebody's body, he will get love of Krishna. So she's so imbued with love of Krishna. And that is because Krishna is always having, does his pastimes in Yamuna. So she's very favorite. Krishna's favorite, one of the favorites. Gopi Madura, the gopis are sweet. Leela Madura, all his pastimes are sweet. Yuktam Maduram. Yuktam means whatever is there attached to him. That means his paraphernalia, ornaments, etc. Everything that is also sweet. Bhuktam, whatever he eats, that food is sweet. Krishtam, his delight, when he becomes happy, that is sweet. Actually, this is very interesting. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is discussion about why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this material world. And then it describes saying that all the gopis, Srimati Radharani, everybody's main focus is to please Krishna. And they dress very nicely so that not for their own pleasure, it is for Krishna's pleasure. We dress for our pleasure, but pure devotees, they don't dress for their pleasure. They dress for Krishna's pleasure. So when Krishna looks at them, he becomes happy. He's pleased. When Krishna becomes pleased, the gopis look more beautiful. They look more attractive. They become more happy. By knowing that the gopis are becoming more happy, Krishna becomes even more happy. Knowing Krishna becomes even more happy, gopis become even more happy. So it is said that this competition is unlimitedly, it goes on. That means that the happiness that Krishna derives from his pure devotees in Goloka just keeps on expanding. There's no end to it at all. Shlishtam Maduram, when he embraces, that is sweet. Gopa Madura, all the gopas are sweet. Gavo Madura, all the cows are sweet. Yashtir Madura, his staff, he holds a staff, that is sweet. Shrishtir Madura, his creation is sweet. Dalitam Maduram, his defeating of the demons is sweet. Phalitam Maduram, he and his bestowal of fruits, so he gives fruits as in benedictions, that is also sweet. So everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. And so this is Krishna. This is Krishna. In nicely described in a nutshell. So this is what, this is the kind of person that we should want to serve. Want to serve this beautiful, sweet Krishna. So for us to be wanting to do that, we have to then give up things of this material world, which are temporary, which have no rasa at all. Rasahina. There is no mellow, there is no taste, there is no happiness with things associated with this material world. Otherwise, we should all think, why great sages, they gave up everything to dedicate their life to service of Krishna, if there was nothing in that. Actually, it is said that the happiness derived by serving the Lord is called Paramananda. Okay, this Paramananda is million times more than Brahmananda, which is the happiness which is got by serving Brahman. Brahman means just light coming from the body of the Lord. And then that Brahmananda itself is multi times more than Swargananda, the happiness that one derives from Swarga. And that happiness in Swarga is also multiple times more than what happiness one can derive in this material world. So just imagine how insignificant is this happiness in this material world and how beautiful is the happiness in the spiritual world in association of Krishna. So that is our motivation. And of course, we understand when I say that is a motivation, we will not become happy just by. So we will not get qualified to go there if we are trying to say, I am going to go to Goloka because I want to become happy. No, that is selfishness. The mood has to be to serve Krishna. When Krishna is happy, then we automatically become happy. But I'm saying the happiness that one derives by serving Krishna is incomparable to the happiness that one is struggling to get. Bhagavatam says that the people in Kali Yuga are struggling to get happiness, and they have to work so hard for little, small, poor quality, insignificant happiness. So why does Krishna come? Of course, this verse we will again discuss some other time. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam. It says Paritranaya sadhunam, for delivering the saints or the devotees. And vinashaya cha dushkrutam, all the dushkrutas, the bad elements, to destroy them. And dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, and to establish dharma. But actually for this Krishna doesn't come. We should understand this also. For this, Krishna's various incarnations are there. They will come for dharma samsthapanarthaya. Krishna is like, because that is work connected to this material world, and Krishna is not directly engaged in this. He has his expansions, Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. From them, there are so many expansions that come and avatars that come, and they take care of the dharma, establishing dharma business. Krishna comes to this material world himself once in a day of Brahma. In the 7th Manu, Chakshusha Manu, Chakshusha, getting confused. 28th, in the 28th Dwapar Yuga, he comes. Only once in the day of Brahma. And he comes just to demonstrate his Leela in the spiritual world. Of course, and when he comes with his own abode, Vrindavan, and he does all his beautiful pastimes here. And this Vrindavan is non-different from the spiritual world. It is said it is a facsimile. Facsimile means fax. That means that you put it from this side, the same thing comes there, but in a different paper, like that. It's the same thing. Spiritual world descends with Krishna for his pastimes. Of course, we need to have spiritual vision to see the spiritual world. So we might today take a ticket, go to Vrindavan, and just see dust and poor people and all this, but that is material vision. We're not seeing Vrindavan yet because we don't have the spiritual vision. So he comes only to do all these pastimes. Why? To attract those who are Sukruti. There is Dushkruti and there is Sukruti. Dushkruti is bad element, Sukruti is pious. Some pious credits are there. Some we might have done some, also unknowingly we might have done some devotional service in the past. To attract such people, Krishna comes. And why does Balaram come? Balaram comes because Balaram's only mode is to serve Krishna. We'll discuss this next week. Krishna comes to attract us. Balaram comes to assist him in his pastimes. And for this end only, saying that, why are you stuck in this Dukhalayam? My abode is so nice. We can all be happy together there. Why don't we all come? Why you want to rot in this material world? That is the message. Dharma Samsthapanaya is done by the Vishnu forms. He doesn't have to worry about that. So he comes just to attract us. That is why we are reading Bhagavatam in our Kannada classes. We are reading Bhagavatam every day. We have now come to the third canto, almost end of third canto, and we will proceed like that, Krishna willing, till the 10th canto, when we will hear the beautiful pastimes of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada used to recommend that all of us should read Krishna book every day before sleeping. So please see if you can put that into practice. We have to try to be in the mood of Vrindavan as much as possible. Of course, like I said, for that we can't be attached to things of this material world. We have to give up all this nonsense, sense gratification, which is only problematic. There is nothing else from this. We just get into more and more trouble in this material world by this sense gratification, because we don't know what is right, what is wrong. We end up doing wrong things and we have to suffer. So sanity is to just leave that sense gratification business, do our prescribed duties, which is for grihasthas mainly, which is up to the age of 50. And beyond the age of 50, you should engage yourself 100% of your time in Krishna's service, in chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then perfect our life, because as we chant and make progress, eventually Krishna will reveal himself, his spiritual world, his form, his pastimes, everything will become revealed. Revealed means like almost like a television, like a spiritual television. It will get revealed. And then we will go back to Krishna. Of course, before going back directly to Goloka, in the spiritual world, we are given apprentice. We'll be given one Janma in Krishna's Bhauma Vrindavan, Bhauma pastimes on earth. We will go and be part of one of Krishna's pastimes in some material world, where we will be given some apprentice, some training, so that we know what it is to be in the presence of Krishna and his great pure devotees. And then after that, we go back to Goloka and then we serve him. And that's it. And all our desire for anything of this material world, knowledge, so-called knowledge, which is Ajnana, which the Shastra calls Ajnana. Knowledge of this material world is Ajnana, Avidya. Not Ajnana, sorry, Avidya. It is not knowledge. Because it is illusory. What is the use of studying so much about something which actually doesn't exist? As in doesn't exist, as in it exists for such a small time that it is insignificant and wasting our time. Like Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he keeps saying, like, people do PhD in terms of how cockroaches reproduce. What significance is this? Why would anybody waste their life trying to understand how a cockroach reproduces? As in waste, utter waste. Brahma, who created, he knows all of this. He's created it in such a way that, like we have to keep spending lifetimes trying to understand what has been created. And where does Brahma get the inspiration, motivation from? Krishna. Tene Brahma Hrida Adikave Muhyanti Yat Surayaha. Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatratri Sargo Mrisha. Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kokam Satyam Param Dhimai. First verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Lord reveals everything to Brahma because he's a pure devotee. So like that, if we also Satatam Kirtayanto Mayatantaschatridavratah, we also have to Satatam. Then Krishna will reveal Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He will give us the intelligence to go back to him. Okay, so anyway, so today was a complete, some inspiration to discuss something else. But yeah, we'll continue this in next week. Not next to next week. Next week we'll have Balaram Katha. Okay, anyway, so we started this conversation saying that how many of you are motivated to go to the spiritual world? Now, are there any more additions after hearing about Krishna and of the material world and spiritual world? Are there more people who are now ready to go? Fat hopes that something that we say cannot maybe change people, but it is possible. So anyway, so are you ready? If you are ready, then that is important. We have to become ready. Actually, Krishna consciousness is so sweet. We just talk about philosophy because we have to purify ourselves. We can't experience all this sweetness without purifying ourselves. So when we say strictly, don't do this, rules, regulations, and people say, Prabhu, why are you so strict? Said like, I am not strict. Whatever Acharya has given, whatever Srila Prabhupada has given, whatever my Guru Maharaj has given, I'm just passing it on. That's all. But if we don't be, Prabhupada says that you have to be like military discipline. Bhakti has to be performed in like military discipline. Why? Because what we are trying to achieve is just, can we imagine how, is it such a easy thing that we are trying to achieve? What we just heard about Goloka. It's not easy. So for things of this material world only, we put so much of effort. Now, what about things of the spiritual world? Shouldn't we put more effort? So we should put effort. Getting over all this, we see Krishna can change. People ask why it has to be so difficult. Why can't Krishna just like magic do it? He can, but he wants to see how anxious we are, how determined we are to go. So are we ready to drop things that are there in this material world, which are anyway temporary and insignificant, that we become so attached to? And the other day I was in, I don't know how many of you are aware, Chickpet area in Bangalore. So we had gone because my wife had to get some jewelry stuff for Jagannath service. So, and I was rider. I was just riding the bike from one place to another and just waiting there because you don't get parking. If anybody have gone to Chickpet, you will know here. And then I was just sitting on the bike, and then I was seeing people so busy running up and down, go to this shop, then come out, go to another shop. Then people are dressed so well, and and I was thinking, like, what is going on in the minds of all these people? Just material sense gratification. I was thinking so much of waste of life, simply human form of life, most precious in this creation, most precious. Even demigods want to become humans, because demigods, the level of happiness is so much that and also they have so much of responsibility. They are sakama, they have desires. They say, oh, no, this demigod business is very difficult for me to do bhakti. So Brahma wanted to come down because Numbu is so busy, he cannot do bhakti. So he came as Haridas Thakur. So we should understand that, we have to do a little bit of austerities, but the result and, what service that we can do to Krishna in Goloka is unparalleled. I hope all of you are becoming more inspired, motivated, because that is only our job, is to give you what is there in Shastra and hope that you can become inspired, motivated by that. Okay, anybody has anything? Anybody wants to say anything? I'll anyway stop the recording. I think people are already started going. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.